Today's the day. Game Developers Conference organizers are pleased to announce that online voting for the Audience Awards, both the 2019 Game Developers Choice Awards and the Independent Games Festival Awards is now open through next Monday, February 11th at 11:59 p.m. pot. These are no top levers, so please help spread the word. Public votes will help determine the winners, which will be announced live during the ceremonies on Wednesday, March 20th, as part of the Game Developers Conference in San Francisco. As in years past, the ceremonies are available to attend for all GD2019 pass holders and will be live-streamed on the official GD Twitch channel at 6:30 p.m. PT, beginning with the IF Awards, followed by the GDCAS. Anyone who would like to vote for the GDCA and the Audience Awards can cast their votes using the links below. Voters will need to select the finalist game they are voting for, along with a valid email address. The Game Developers Choice Awards are the leading peer-based indie game awards show celebrating the industry's top games and developers. The IF Awards honor the most innovative and exemplary projects in indie game development. Each year, both award ceremonies recognize the creativity, artistry and technical genius of the finest developers and games. It's always quite a show, so make time to check both out, in person or live on stream, when BD returns to San Francisco next month. Bring your team to BD. Register a group of 10 or more and save 10% on conference passes. Learn more. For more details on GDC 2019 visit the show's official website, or subscribe to regular updates via Facebook, Twitter, OS. Gamasutra and BD are sibling organizations under parent company Informa. The 2019 Game Developers Conference will feature an exhibition called GDCDEDICATEDTOGAMES that uses alternative control schemes and interactions. Gamasutra will be talking to the developers of each of the games that have been selected for the showcase. Guitar Wizards draws a pair of players into a battle of sound and light, having them play dueling guitars to launch magical beams at their opponent. Meanwhile, you have to launch riffs at your foe to stop their magical licks from taking you down. Gamasutra sat down with the developers of Guitar Wizards to talk about how they turned a guitar battle into a crowd-pleasing throwdown between mages, how they helped those with little musical experience still create pretty songs, and how a natural cooperation still came of their competitive music game. With our band mechanics, game design, programming and hardware, and kitchen, game design, production. We also worked with our super talented friends, Jason Sutherland, audio, design, and new coders, art. For the last 3 or so years, we have largely been making games in our spare time, participating in as many jams as we can manage. As our interest in and passion for game design grew, we decided to shift our careers towards making games full-time. McKinney now works as a creative technologist at a company specializing in interactive installations, and Kitchen works as a producer at an independent game development studio called Freelix. Our teammates Sutherland and others work with the Kitchen at Freelix. Guitar Wizards was built using WS-281 to be RGB labs, the Fuzzold library, a TNC and BR aligned. The full installation includes wooden and acrylic panels that sandwich the lens and enhance the sparkly effects. For maximum magic, we also used modified Guitar Hero controllers, and we will be bringing custom-made wizard hands along to
GDC 2019
Guitar Wizards is a ribbon-based dueling game that takes place across an LED battleground. Players use modified Guitar Hero controllers to fire chords at one another, and in the process, create a magical spectacle of lights and sounds. By taking away the screen, Guitar Wizards brings players face to face in an epic battle, and allows for a crowd to form around them. The game can be played competitively, as players try to outmaneuver one another, or it can be played cooperatively, as players settle into a groove and find flow. By putting a guitar in their hands and a wizard hat on their heads, Guitar Wizards aims to give players the freedom to perform, and to share a moment of fun with their opponents and onlookers. Since we want as many people as possible to experience the magic of Guitar Wizards, we are working on making the game more accessible. We will be bringing an additional set of controllers to the DD exhibition that make it possible for the game to be played one-handed. About 5 years ago, we had a really exciting idea of fantasy-inspired dueling game where spells were fired using gesture recognition gloves. Sounds cool, right? But it was also wildly outside of the scope of our abilities as game designers and developers at the time. Fast forward to 2018, when McInnes happened to work on a LED project and discovered that our idea could be brought to life in a different way. He figured that the LED strips resembled the lanes in Guitar Hero, so we started exploring the possibility of using existing controllers in a new context. That also sparked our interest in adding a musical element to the game. We both find the idea of casting a spell of conjuring some effect in the world really exciting, and we wanted to try to capture that with the Guitar Wizards. The 2-meter-long ladder creates distance between players so that they can see their musical spells travel through space towards their opponent. To highlight the feeling of making magic, we added meteoric light trails to the notes, as well as sparkling effects for when they collide. An important design consideration was also that we wanted the player to feel like the Dark's Rockstar Wizard, which is at the same time the coolest and silliest thing to be. And that's what we like about Guitar Wizards. It lets you step into that role, and then just lets you have some fun with it irrespective of your skill as a player or musician, a wizard for that matter. The incredible poster art that Luke made, which is part metal album cover and part Terry Pratchett book cover, leans into this idea very nicely. Some of the best experiences we have had at games parties or exhibitions have been around games that are intriguing not only to their players, but also to the crowd around them. We love games like Johann Sebastian Joust, Dyed Fabric, 2013, and the shared experience it creates between players and onlookers while they are being played and watched. Those games create little communities around them. We did a few things to try to create the same kind of experience with the Guitar Wizards. First, because the ladder in it is 2 meters long, onlookers can easily fill up the space between players. We try to ensure that the game is set up on a low display tablet so that everyone can see what's happening in the arena. Each player also has a distinct color, making it easy to follow the action. We deliberately kept the rules of Guitar Wizards simply so that it is easy to keep track of no matter when you start watching the duel. These considerations allow onlookers to understand the game's state at a glance and to join in on the performance. For us, the joy of alternative or unique controls is really in their ability to bring people together, whether it's Guitar Wizards or one of the other incredible entries into this year's
GDC 2019.
Alternative controllers invite people to share a physical space and a moment of silliness, a confusion, or mastery. We think that's really special, and something worth celebrating. Guitar Wizards was built as a competitive game, but during playtesting we found that some players were more interested in a cooperative experience where they could follow into a rhythm with one another. Even within the competitive framework we created, players were finding ways to work together and were using a call and response playstyle. Since this is a really exciting outcome, we are exploring game modes that support collaborative play further.